This is World News Now, your source for up-to-the-minute news. And now, Your World in 30 with anchor Michelle Lee. Good evening. I'm Michelle Lee, and this is Your World in 30. The familiar opening played as the camera eased back from a close-up, revealing the sweeping expanse of the newsroom. The black glass anchor desk shimmered under the lights, two black leather chairs behind it. Along the wall, oversized flat-screen monitors displayed stories unfolding across the globe. We're dedicating tonight's show to a special report on this new, so-called wonder drug that's caught everyone's attention. The screens behind her switched to a flood of testimonial videos. Now, for those of you who don't spend all your time on the internet, and by that I mean, for those of you who actually have a real life, she chuckled, news of this supposed wonder drug has gone viral. Thousands of testimonials, videos, and blogs have been appearing everywhere. Normally, we wouldn't waste your time or hours on internet hype. However, she lifted her index finger and wagged it slowly in mock warning. When this network uncovered who was behind all the commotion, let's just say we decided it was worth reporting, even if only for a good laugh. Michelle glanced to the empty chair beside her. As you can see, I have no special guest tonight. That's unfortunate. I was looking forward to confronting him, and of course, giving him the chance to defend his actions and those of his organization. Some of our more seasoned viewers may remember this man from about 20 years ago. Unfortunately, his office declined our invitation to appear. It's time for a commercial break, but don't go away. When we return, we're going to blow the lid off this supposed wonder drug and its creator. We'll also answer the real question, is it the real deal or just viral hype? This is Your World in 30 with Michelle Lee. Let me start by saying that the doctor supposedly responsible for this new wonder drug is not what most people would consider a doctor. Her smile turned wry. Yes, he holds several doctorate degrees, but none in medicine. In fairness, I don't want to jump to conclusions. We'll look at this with an open mind. The reason some of you might remember this man goes back about 20 years. This same doctor, she twirled a finger in the air, claimed to have developed a self-contained gardening system that was going to feed the world. Michelle laughed and rolled her eyes. Some of you may already know who I'm talking about. I think I might know this guy. Really? Who? But Benton didn't answer. His eyes stayed locked on the television. All right then, Michelle continued. For those still trying to remember, the man is none other than Dr. Salister Hayden. She shook her head slowly. Yes, the infamous Dr. Salister Hayden, the man who vanished from the public eye 20 years ago after failing to convince us he could feed the world. Well, guess what? He's back. Michelle's expression soured. Some people just don't know when to quit, right? Still, as I said earlier, we want to be fair. This drug has been hyped to extremes online, and we're going to get to the bottom of it. The picture shifted to a split screen, cutting to a live field report. We now go live to Sonia Ramirez in Cincinnati, Ohio, outside one of the Foundation of Life's many free clinics. The camera zoomed in on Sonia, bundled in a matching hat, scarf, earmuffs, and mittens, standing beside a young African-American man dancing in place to keep warm. Behind them, the sidewalk was crammed with people. Some sitting, some standing, most wrapped in blankets or whatever scraps they could find to fight the cold. Sonia, this is Michelle Lee at World News headquarters. Can you tell us what's going on there? Sonia continued talking to the man beside her, showing no sign she'd heard Michelle. Sonia? Michelle tried again. We seem to be having some technical difficulties, Michelle told viewers. We'll come back to Sonia before she freezes out there. The feed cut, returning to Michelle in the studio. I'm being told we're going to commercial break, and we'll have Sonia live again when we return. Sir, that's Salister Hayden? Was that the man you were thinking of? Brenda asked, turning toward Benton. Yes. Benton paused the broadcast, eyes fixed on the screen. It is. Why do you ask? It's just that. Brenda hesitated. Well, I'm not positive, Neil, but I think I remember his name on some correspondence we had a while back. I had one of the staffers handle it for you. What do you mean, handle it? I'm not even sure it's the same man, but the correspondence was addressed to you and Secretary of State Henderson. And yet I never saw the letter? Benton tilted his head slightly. You were in session that morning. Jason Marks came by and read it to me, And frankly, sir, it had nothing to do with this office. So I figured, with you being as busy as you are, I'd just let Henderson's office deal with it. She watched him, noting his distant expression. It was basically a pitch for funding some world wellness program. I'm not even sure it came directly from Hayden. It sounded like one of those Save the World groups. I'm sure it's fine, Brenda. I'm sorry, I just get worked up sometimes. I hate the thought of messing something up for you. If it were important, Henderson's office would have contacted me. I'm sure it's no big deal, Benton said, trying to ease her mind. Besides, there's no way you could mess things up more than I do. Like I'm supposed to believe that. Well, you should. Still, I'd like to see that letter. Think you could get a copy for me? Sure, I'll ask Jason first thing in the morning. She settled beside him again as he pressed play. Now, once again, we take you live to Cincinnati, where Sonia Ramirez is monitoring the situation on the streets. Sonia, can you hear me? Yes, Michelle, I can hear you just fine. Sonia spoke through chattering teeth, hunched over from the cold and rubbing her hands together. So tell us what's going on there. Well, Michelle, as you can see, there are quite a few people camping out in front of this Foundation of Life clinic here in Cincinnati. The camera panned wide, revealing hundreds of people lined up along the sidewalk. The line stretched for several blocks, occasionally spilling into the street. Mounted police officers patrolled the length of the crowd. Sonia, I see quite a few police officers there. I take it they've already had some problems? Michelle asked. No, none that I'm aware of. The officers are just keeping the street clear so vehicles can get through, Michelle, Sonia replied. Well, that's a good thing then. At least they're there should this get ugly, right? From what I've seen, the only thing these people are fighting tonight, Michelle, is the severe cold. I've been here for several hours, setting up, and I haven't seen or heard anything close to a problem. Sonia stepped closer to the young man beside her, preparing to introduce him. Sonia? Michelle prompted. Yes, go ahead. What is all the yelling we're hearing in the background? Michelle asked. That's just some of the people who got their vaccinations earlier today. They're calling out encouragement to those still waiting, telling them not to give up because the vaccine is worth it. Sonia tilted her head, shrugging. Okay, so who's the young man with you? Michelle, this is Swirl Macon. Up until a few moments ago, he was one of the loudest voices out here. Let's hear what all the fuss is about then, Michelle said, as Sonia leaned in toward the young man. He grabbed her hand, holding the microphone. Yo, ladies, I'm Swirl, but all the ladies call me Real, 17 and single. Hi, moms! He waved at the camera. Okay, so Swirl. Sonia began, pulling the mic back. Yo, lady, call me Real. All my peeps call me Real. I see. Well then, Real it is. So tell us, what have you heard about this vaccine and where did you hear it from? Well, I haven't heard much. I've seen a couple vids online, how it kills off them flu bugs. Dude in the video said he got the shot at Life's clinic. I'd been feeling like He stopped himself and looked at Sonia. I shouldn't cuss on here, huh? No, but go ahead. Please continue. Well, I'd been really sick for 4 or 5 days and nothing was helping, so I figured, what the heck, I came down here. Okay, so you got the vaccine already? Well, yeah, lady. That's what I'm telling these peeps. Hang tough, y'all. He threw up his right fist toward the line. Stick it out, 'cause the stuff's worth it, babes. So what can you tell us about the vaccine, Real? Is it a shot? A pill? Yeah, it's a shot. A flu shot. Fastest cure I've ever had. I mean, I've had flu shots before, but they take a while to work. This one, I was feeling fresh in a couple hours. Sonia, he does know flu vaccines don't actually cure the flu, right? Michelle's voice broke in. Okay, Real. Just so you know, flu vaccines don't kill the virus. They help prevent you from catching it. They don't cure it. Well, it sure as hell cured mine, lady. Got the shot, and 2 hours later, I was up and at it again. So I told my peeps to get down here, but I don't have a cam on my computer. No vids, so I just came out here to spread the word. He turned back toward the line. Keep hanging, y'all. The stuff's worth it. And with that, he walked away toward the crowd. Well, there you have it, Michelle, Sonia said with a laugh. Either this is one fabulous drug, or there are some very confused people out here. Confused sounds about right, Michelle chuckled. What else can you share with us? Even after that young man, I'm not convinced I need that vaccine. I hear that. He may not be the best spokesperson, but everyone here plans to spend the night outside in hopes of getting the vaccine tomorrow. So this is being driven by all those online testimonials, Sonia? Not so much here. It's more young people like Saforial encouraging the crowd. Well, thank you for sticking it out for this story. Maybe you should get in line for that life-saving shot yourself, Michelle joked. Couldn't if I wanted to. Only registered clinic patients can get it. So only people who've used the clinic before? Yes, with one exception. Any child under 18 with a parent or guardian can get it. But if the adult isn't registered, only the child is vaccinated. Well, thank you for the update, Sonia. Get home and warm up. Thank you, Michelle. The feed cut back to Michelle Lee. James tapped Brenda's arm. I need you to get that letter for me now. The intensity in his voice made it clear she shouldn't ask questions. She returned to her desk to make the call. Now, there you have it, folks. Our tax dollars hard at work, and as usual, the real taxpayers get no benefit. Michelle shook her head. I'm not saying this wonder drug works, but if it does, wouldn't you give it to people who actually work for a living? And how is letting people freeze on the street helping anyone? I'm sick of these so-called free clinics funded by our tax dollars, taking advantage of people who clearly aren't the brightest. Most will die from the virus anyway. And Dr. Hayden obviously doesn't care. He's just trying to get his name out there again. And with that, there's more to come after the break. We've dug up more information on this so-called Dr. Salister that you won't want to miss. Sir, I got a hold of Jason. He thinks he has a copy of that letter. He's on his way in now, Brenda reported. Thank you, Brenda, Benton said without looking up. Can you believe this, sir? Believe what, Bren? That he can lie to these people and get away with it? If they don't freeze to death tonight, they'll die from the pandemic. How can someone be so cruel, giving them false hope? Well, James said, tilting his head, I don't know. His thoughts were elsewhere, wondering just what Hayden was up to. I'd bet most of these people don't have access to real doctors, none they can afford, and packed together like this, if they don't have the flu, they will by morning. Let's just watch and see. I have a feeling something big's about to happen. Something big, sir? I'm sure we'll see. If I know Salister Hayden, it'll be big. James turned back toward the TV. Okay, we're joined now by one of our trusted contributors, retired CIA agent David Callister from his home in Rhode Island. Can you hear me, David? Yes, no problems. Go ahead. So, David, what can you tell us about Dr. Salister Hayden? Well, without revealing classified information, I can tell you we investigated him years ago, but found nothing significant. Can you share why he was under investigation to begin with? Michelle, it was 20 years ago. It could have been for any number of reasons. I honestly don't recall. But it's safe to say at least one of your superiors thought he might be doing something wrong, or was a possible threat to the country, right, David? Michelle pressed. No, not necessarily. The agency often investigates organizations working in and out of the country just to keep tabs. It could have been routine. Okay then, so I take it you can't share the more controversial aspects of the investigation, and I understand that, Michelle said. But what can you tell us about Dr. Salister? What did you learn, if anything, during the investigation, David? Well, David began, I met Mr. Hayden at one of the Foundation's outreach clinics in North Africa, Michelle. And let me clarify something. It's not that I can't tell you why he was under investigation. What you need to understand is that it's simply standard operational procedure. Unless an agent is being assigned to a life risk mission, investigations are routine. Just to set that straight, Michelle. But back to what I was saying, during the investigation, I found him to be a highly intelligent man and quite competent as well. Okay then, but 20 years ago, that would have been right around the time of his big Feed the World campaign. It's probably safe to assume that's why he was being investigated. But all that behind us, you say he struck you as sound of mind at the time, David? Michelle asked, a faint smile playing on her lips. Yes, Michelle, he was quite sound of mind, David replied, silently thinking, does this woman ever give up? So let me ask you this, David. Do you think this new so-called wonder drug his foundation is pushing is legitimate, or just another one of his save-the-world schemes to get his name back in the headlines? Well, first of all, I hadn't even heard of this new drug until a few hours ago, so I can't speak much on it. But I will say this. When I saw his organization in Africa, it was clear to me he had managed to surround himself with some of the best scientists in the world. Michelle. Yeah, well, crazy people often do that. People like Adolf Hitler, for example, Michelle quipped with a laugh. As I said, he didn't strike me as crazy. What I did find was that his team wasn't just there to help the sick, they were trying to cure them. And it was obvious the organization was pouring enormous amounts of money into research and development, Michelle. Honestly, it's hard to imagine what they might have achieved by now. Okay then, David. Thank you. And as always, you've been a big help to us here. Thank you, Michelle, David said. Off camera, at his home, he pulled the earpiece out and set it down, giving his cameraman an exasperated look. The cameraman simply nodded. Yeah, I get that look a lot when I shoot these live interviews for her, man. He picked up the earpiece and headed for the door. We now take you back to Sonia outside the Foundation of Life clinic in Ohio for breaking news, Michelle's voice announced. The video cut to Sonia in full screen. Michelle, this is really something. As you can see behind me, workers from the foundation arrived about 20 minutes ago and started setting up this tube-like shelter along the sidewalk. And if you look here, the camera zoomed in for a close-up, what we're seeing are blow-force heating units attached to the shelter, warming the inside to just over 70 degrees. I'm told food and beverages will also be served throughout the night until the clinic reopens. And it's not just here. From what I've been told, this is happening outside at least 15 other foundation clinics across Ohio and will continue until it's no longer needed. Wow. Well, slap me and call me stupid for my earlier comments, folks. But maybe we've done some good here. They must have caught our broadcast. Have you spoken with anyone from the organization or learned anything new about the vaccine, Sonia? Well, yes and no. I spoke to a man who seemed to be in charge. When I asked if he was running this operation, he simply said, and I quote, "I am what I am, ma'am." Pretty vague. All he would say about the vaccination was that it appears to be working. Back to you, Michelle. Okay, folks, tune in tomorrow for more investigative reporting on this breaking story. World News Money is coming up next. Thank you all for watching. Sir, Jason is on his way up, Brenda reported from her desk. Thank you, Brenda. Could you also try to reach Henderson's office and let him know I need to see him ASAP? James turned off the TV and moved toward his desk. Yes, sir. Is there anything else I can do? Yeah, we need to get up to speed on anything we can find about the Foundation of Life. Dig up everything you can. He sat down and began sifting through the organized chaos of paperwork on his desk. I'm already on it, sir. Turns out this organization is massive. That's probably putting it lightly, the senator replied. What's that, sir? Brenda asked, looking up from her computer. Oh, it's nothing, James said. Staff Leader Jason Marks moved quickly from his home late that night after Brenda Hughes, Senator Benton's aide, called sounding uncharacteristically shaken. She'd asked about a specific letter, and he knew exactly which one she meant. It had been pinned to the staffer's lounge bulletin board for months, dubbed the How Not to Ask for Assistance letter, and had been the butt of more than a few weary late-night jokes. But Brenda's voice tonight told him the humor was gone. The Senate building was half lit and hushed when Jason arrived, the echo of his footsteps carrying down the marble corridor. Somewhere in the distance, a ventilation unit thrummed steadily, its low hum filling the empty spaces. A desk phone rang briefly in an office far away, then cut off. He strode into the lounge, tore the letter from the wall without bothering to remove the thumbtack, and headed straight to Benton's office. The faint buzz of fluorescent lights accompanied the steady squeak of his shoes against the polished floor. Sir, Jason said as he stepped inside, the muted rustle of papers and the ticking of a desk clock filling the pause. He crossed the room with purpose. Here's the letter. Benton took it, unfolding the creased page. The paper crackled in the quiet as his eyes scanned the text. From the office of Dr. Salister Hayden, Head of Operations for World Wellness Program. Attention, Mr. Earl Henderson, Mr. James Benton. We are reaching out to you in an effort to attain funding and, if possible, support for our World Wellness Program. This program is designed to help those who are less fortunate and who, in many cases, lack access to proper healthcare and healthcare facilities worldwide. It is our intent to begin administering vaccinations within the next 6 months in a worldwide effort to combat illness and other global challenges. We look forward to corresponding with you in the near future. Sincerely, Dr. Salister D. Hayden, founder and CEO, Foundation of Life Organization. Benton lowered the page slowly. Well, this is just total bullshit, he said flatly. The chair creaked as he shifted. Surely they didn't. Brenda cut in quickly, the sound of her pen tapping against her notepad betraying her nerves. Sir, from what I've found so far, there are at least 200 to 300 clinics here in the U.S. operating just like the one in Ohio. Oh, I'm sure there are more than that, Benton replied, his voice low but edged. The phone on his desk gave a short electronic chirp as a missed call notification blinked. But this letter, that's the problem. These people aren't this stupid. This is a plant, a smokescreen. Hayden sent it for a reason. He leaned back, the leather of his chair giving a slow groan, fingertips pressed together, staring at the page as if it might give up its secrets. Whatever that reason is, I doubt I'm going to like it. Jason pulled up a chair beside Brenda. The faint scratching of her pen across paper mixed with the quiet, steady hum of the building's heating system. Sir, I've left a message with Mr. Henderson's aide to arrange a meeting with you as soon as possible, Brenda reported. Good, Benton said, still studying the letter. Then, with deliberate calm, he set it down, reached for the phone, and began making a barrage of calls. The muted beeps of the keypad broke the silence in sharp bursts, each call beginning in low, clipped tones and ending more terse than the last. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our channel for more in this series and many other stories we know you'll love. Don't forget to click the notification bell so you never miss an update.